Well, good afternoon, everybody. And afternoon it is again. I'm going to make a zucchini bread. This is unlike the last one that we made a while back. This calls for chocolate chips, which I have, and I have the raisins, but I have craisins and just a few. So I'm going to go ahead and use those up. And it's got this one recipe will make two 9x5 loaf pans. So let me go over what we've got here. We're going to use 4 eggs. I've got one in the bowl already. You don't have no mixers, no machines at all. Just a hand mix. That's it. That's why I like this recipe so well. Okay, it's 3/4 of a cup of oil, and in this oil, vegetable oil, and in this oil, I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and then the sugar. It calls for 2/3. 1 2/3 cup of white sugar, but I mixed that to be 1/2 of brown and 1/2 of white. It just gives it a bit more of a depth of flavor instead of it being so sweet. It has more of a molasses undertone. And then it's calling for 3 cups of all-purpose flour and 3 cups of zucchini. And then I've got, maybe 1/2 cup of chocolate chips and less than that in craisins in here. Now, any of you that have been following any of my recipes, especially my baked goods, know that what I do with my quick breads, I always keep crumbles in the refrigerator. And I had some left from this last time. Now, it doesn't call for the crumbles on the zucchini bread, but I just think it adds a little bit of, a little bit extra, a little crunch on the top, and a little pop of flavor. So we're going to put that on the very top where it goes in the oven, which is set at, I almost lied to you, 350 degrees. And let me check and see. It says up to 50 minutes, 50 to 60 minutes. That's going to be depending on your oven too. So if you haven't calibrated your oven lately, do so, because I did mine a couple of weeks ago and it was 15 degrees off from, a couple months back. So, it does fluctuate. So at any rate, try to put thermometer or thermostat or something in your oven, set it at 350 and see what it reads after it comes to temp. And then you can make the necessary adjustments. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and finish putting my eggs in here. I've got one in here already. I'm going to put a 3 and the 4. I'd love to be able to say these came from my own chickens, but I don't. I would love to have my own chickens, but alas, not going to happen. So let me just mix this up a little bit. I'm going to mix all the wet ingredients first. And then we're going to throw in the dry ingredients. Okay. Let's mix that up. Let's go ahead and put our oil and our vanilla in there. And you don't have to use vanilla extract. You can use other extracts. I came close to putting orange in here, but I didn't. I had the vanilla. I went ahead and used it. Okay, let's go ahead and put our sugar. And you can use coconut sugar, you can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar, you can use an artificial sugar. It's whatever you want to do. Because remember, I want to keep saying this, recipes are blueprint. But with baking, it tends to be more of a science. So you want to try to stay as close to the recipe as possible. You can do some dry additions and things like that. But once you start messing with liquid additions and other items that can throw the balance off, you're going to be in a mess. I've learned that the hard way. Okay, so now I'm going to put the zucchini in, 3 cups. And that the recipe said 2 to 3 medium zucchini. I had 2 medium, and it gave me just enough zucchini for the recipe. So they were spot on with that. We'll do this. And really what I wanted to do, and I may still do that, is if I can have time and keep this video below the 30-minute mark, which I'm so desperately trying to do, is show you how I do my vegetables that look like they're going a little bit south and they won't last another couple of days. I take and I chop those all up and make almost like a pico de gallo out of it, and I put it in plastic freezer bags and toss them in the freezer. It's just great for soups and stews and casseroles and quiches and all kinds of stuff, and it's already chopped. You know, it's just, you don't have to chop it every time you go for a recipe. So I'm going to put half this flour in, mix it up, and then put the other half. You don't want to mix this too much, though. It makes your batter or your end result tough. And we are in the middle, and I know most of the country is today too, in the middle of a heat wave. It's so humid down here in Florida that you go outside and try to do anything. It's just like, oh, I got to get back in. It's really bad. Okay, see how that half a cup of, or 1.5 cups of flour did that batter? Let's go ahead and put the other half in. That way you're going to steer away from lumps too if you divide it in half. And you're not struggling to try to get it incorporated either. There we go. Oh, I think I'm making a mess. Put your chocolate chips and your craisins or raisins in the very last. Now, I'm not using a whole lot of the raisins or craisins and chips. I don't want it to overpower the taste of the zucchini bread. I just want it to be a little extra in there. Okay, that's all we need to do with this. It's not an overly thick batter, but it's thick enough. Oh, and if you, let me go ahead and put the chocolate chips in there. If you happen to use butter instead of oil, your zucchini bread's going to come out dry. I've done that before with zucchini bread where I put butter instead of oil. It really just doesn't work. It doesn't give it enough moisture. Now, this recipe, actually it doesn't, but I've seen recipes that call for half butter and half oil. I don't really understand why that is. But, you know, I didn't write the recipe. Okay. There we go. We're ready to rock and roll here. Our oven is at 350. And we're going to put our batter into, and they're oiled and floured. And I've got parchment paper in there as well. Easy to get out. And to try to divide those up as evenly as possible. More so to, you know, the baking time, so they bake it at a equal rate. One's not doughy in the center, while the other one is being overcooked. So just eyeball it to the best of your abilities. It's not that difficult. And Andy's visiting today. Hey, Andy. He just buried his treat. And Rosie's around trying to find it. The dynamics between those two are just amazing. Okay. Get rid of all these sticky things before I start wearing it, you know? Okay. Let's put our crumble on top. Now the crumble, if you're interested, you can Google a number of recipes for crumble. This one I've just adapted over the years, but it's basically a Martha Stewart muffin crumble. And all it is see, a cup of all-purpose flour. You can use self-rising if you don't have all-purpose. A cup of sugar, and you can use, excuse me, there's somebody, okay. A cup of sugar, and you can use brown sugar. I've got a mixture of both in here. And then 1 stick of cold butter cut in cubes. And then you just mix it together with your hands to make a soft crumble. And that's it. Now, when I have to make crumble, I usually make enough for, oh, I don't know, maybe a gallon bag. I'll do like 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of sugar, and 3 sticks of butter. And that way I have enough crumble to last me for a month of Sundays in my baking, because I've got away pretty much from icing on cakes. I have enough crumble now maybe for another round of quick breads, and then I'll make another batch. But I've got away from icing cakes. I tend to like more the drizzles and the crumbles and things of that nature. It's just not as sweet. And I just think it adds a little bit of texture. It's not overly sweet. It's easy to handle. It's easy to freeze. It's easy to serve. So, okay, let's get this in the oven. I'm going to rinse my hands off so I don't make a mess out of my oven doors. Let me open this oven. Ooh. Okay, here they go. Okay, turn the oven light on. Alexa, set timer for 40 minutes. Okay, so what I've done, I've had Alexa remind me at a 40-minute mark. I'm going to see where we are with this, since it's saying 50 to 60 minutes until these loaves are done. Just be prepared ahead of time to maybe tint them, because you don't want them to get too brown on top, because they're going to get tough. You don't want your crust to be tough. You want it to be nice and soft. So just be prepared to tint those. Okay, guys, here we are at 40 minutes. Alexa just reminded me. They look beautiful, don't they? But they're not done. So I'm going to tint those. I'm just going to take my aluminum. Right here, just got my aluminum. And we're going to tint them. Just like so. See how that paper holds them up? See that? Just not resting right on top. Okay, so I had Alexa do another 10 minutes. That'll put us at 50 minutes. Okay, so it took exactly 56 minutes for me to get these breads done. Let me show you what they look like. And it's been an hour since I took them out of the oven. They're beautiful. Of course, one's bigger than the other. Look at this one. Okay. Now, just to touch base with you on something. Whenever I do quick breads, especially these that have, you know, a lot of stuff in them, that, you know, they're heavy, the dough's heavy, I always, never fail, take their temperature. You want to take it to where it's at least 185 to 190 and even maybe above, to make sure it's done on the interior. Otherwise, you want to take it out. All your work's going to go for naught, because you're going to cut into it and the middle's doughy. I've done that so many times. I've tapped them. I've poked them. I've put skewers in them. I've done all of it. And the only thing that is really 100% is the temperature. So get yourself a thermometer. They don't cost that much, you know, $5, $6. Those little digital ones that I use, I have a couple of them around here. And just get in the habit of temping your food. And it doesn't have to be just breads. It can be, savory dishes as well, especially like chicken, different meats, bread. Oh, especially bread. That's a whole nother subject, is when you talk about bread and temps and things like that, because that can be, a little bit overboard when it looks like it's done, it acts like it's done, it smells like it's done, but it's not done. So just, guard yourself when it comes to what's done and what isn't. I'm going to cut into this. I can't wait to see what it looks like. And we're going to bring him over here. Do you see that? I'm going to cut into it with a serrated knife. And there you have it. And the crumb topping is beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's see what this tastes like. I know the crumb topping's good. I put it on everything. Okay. Andy's right here. He's hungry. Let me taste this. Yeah. Too big of a bite. Now you gotta watch me chew. I like it. Just to touch base with you again, this is kind of zucchini bread on steroids. Not only does it have the 3 cups of grated zucchini in it, it also has craisins and chocolate chips, milk chocolate. This would be really, really good with the semi-sweet chocolate, or even the bittersweet chocolate. I think would be awesome. And I'm glad I didn't put any more fruit in it, because I think it would just take it to another type of a bread, not zucchini, because you want the zucchini to stand out and the fruit and the chocolate just to be an afterthought or an aftertaste, which I think we did right with this. So just to recap, it's the 3 cups of zucchini, and then you have 2/3 cup of oil. Your vanilla, you can put any extract that you want in it. 4 eggs, 3 cups of flour, a dash of cinnamon. I put 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in it. And then, of course, your sugar, which was a 1 2/3 cup. I split that in half and put half brown sugar and half white sugar. It just gives it a little more depth of flavor with the molasses notes in the taste. Baking soda. You want to put a teaspoon of, baking powder. I'm sorry, no, go back. Baking soda. I always do that. And a dash of salt. And that's pretty much it. So make this recipe yours and have fun with it. Now, this freezes unbelievably well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say most baked goods, if you freeze them right after they cool to room temperature, wrap them really well in saran wrap or any kind of a plastic wrap, and then aluminum foil, and then throw them in like a freezer safe bag. They can last up to 4 months. And when you bring those out, they're going to be actually moister than they were when they were right out of the oven. Don't know why, but it just works that way. A lot of bakers will automatically freeze like their cake rounds and things of that sort overnight for 2 reasons. When they bring them back out, they're easier to frost, and they're moister. The only drawback to that is they're not going to stay as fresh as long. This, covered in an airtight container on your countertop, will last 3 days or so. In the refrigerator, in an airtight container, 4 to 5 days. If you freeze it and bring it out, 2 days. It's just nature of the beast. So with that being said, I'm sending you, just appreciation for following my little show. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. And I just hope that you can find it in your heart to like and subscribe and help my channel grow. It would be so much appreciated. With that, I'm going to send you all my love. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And please check on your neighbors, because you never know what goes on behind closed doors. Oh, and Andy saying the same. We love you. Bye-bye.